stand before your Maker, full of wonder, full of fear. Come behold his power and glory, yeah, with confidence draw near. For the one who holds the heavens and commands the stars above is a God who bends to bless us with an unrelenting love. Rejoice, come and lift your hand and raise your voice. He is worthy of all praise. Rejoice, in the midst of suffering, he will help you sing. Rejoice, we are children of the promise, the beloved of the Lord, one with everlasting kindness, bought with sacrificial blood, bringing reconciliation to a world that longs to know the affections of a Father who will never let them go. Rejoice, come and lift your hands and raise your voice. He is worthy of all praise. Rejoice, sing the mercies of your King, and with trembling rejoice. All our sickness, all our sorrow, Jesus carried up that hill. He has walked this path before us. He is walking with us still, turning tragedy to triumph, turning agony to praise. There is blessings in the battle, so take heart and stand amazed. Rejoice, when you cry to him, he hears your voice. He will wipe away your tears. Rejoice, in the midst of suffering, he will help you see. Rejoice, come and lift your hand and raise your voice. He is worthy of all praise. Rejoice, sing the mercies of your King, and with trembling rejoice. How are we doing, Whitewater? Welcome to Worship Wednesdays. Why? Because it's Wednesday, and because I love alliteration. That's not true. I just couldn't think of a better name. So one of the things we're going to do while we are all physically distant, but hopefully staying in touch and in contact and moving the world 2 steps closer to Jesus, is we're going to talk through the songs that we do on Sunday mornings here. One of the things I've never got to do with you guys as your worship leader is actually walk through verse by verse some of the big songs we do at Whitewater and why we do them. One of the best parts of being the worship leader at Whitewater is I've had the chance to play with great musicians and study with these folks and get to spend a lot of time with Adam. And one of the things I learned from our team is that we all have a great desire for good lyrics and biblical lyrics and lyrics that drive us towards Jesus. So today we're going to talk about Rejoice, a song by the Modern Post written by Dustin Kensrue back in the Marsfield church days. Rejoice we've done at Whitewater for well over a year now. And I just want to walk you through this verse and through this song so you guys can understand why this song is so pertinent to who we are as Whitewater Christian Church. So in verse 1, the song says, "Come and stand before your Maker, full of wonder, full of fear. Come behold his power and glory, yet with confidence draw near. For the one who holds the heavens and commands the stars above is the God who bends to bless us with an unrelenting love." What you might not know about those words is that they actually come almost directly out of Psalm 78, where God is talking about how he blesses his children, the children of Israel. And as he talks about their history of walking through needing manna, their history of being taken out of slavery, and the verse about "for the one who holds the heavens and commands the stars above" is actually Psalm 78 verse 23. So when you think that maybe we're not singing scripture, almost everything we do sing is scripture. And it goes into the chorus, "Rejoice, come and lift your hands and raise your voice. He is worthy of all praise, rejoice." Sing the mercies of your King, and with trembling rejoice. One of the things about this song that always kind of touches my heart and mind, just who I am, is this chorus and the end chorus, which we'll talk through in a bit, talk about the process of giving joy, of exuding joy even in the hard times, of being a joyful and loving Christian even when it doesn't feel happy. And we at Whitewater, we might not always be a happy people, but we better be a joyful people. So in verse 2 it says, "We are children of the promise, the beloved of the Lord, one with everlasting kindness, bought with sacrificial blood, bringing reconciliation to a world that longs to know the affections of a Father who will never let them go." Again, this is out of Romans 1, as Paul is writing to the church of Rome, the Romans.
It's not just a clever name.
It's not just a clever name. And right in verse 1:7, it talks, we are children of the promise. Whew, can't speak today. We are children of the promise. That God brings reconciliation to this world, and that we, as His children, are supposed to bring that reconciliation to the lost, to the lonely, to the disenfranchised. And if you guys are watching at all what's going on in the world around you, the reason I'm speaking to you through a camera versus from stage is that we are there, that we are in this place. And if we are not able to bring reconciliation to the world, if we are not able to show the affections of a Father who loves us to the world around us, we're missing it. You know, right now we're talking through Michael Frost's Bells, and we're talking to you guys about the importance of evangelism. We're talking to you about what is Whitewater DNA, and none of that goes on hold while we might be stuck not being physically close to the rest of our church family. In verse 3, it talks very specifically about maybe where some of you guys are at right now. All our sickness, all our sorrow, Jesus carried up that hill. He has walked this path before us. He is walking with us still, turning tragedy to triumph, turning agony to praise. There is blessings in the battle. So take heart and stand amazed. In Matthew 4, it talks about Jesus' journey from tragedy to triumph, from blessings to battle. It talks about Jesus' time in desolation, time in solitude as the devil attacked him over and over. And it talks about Jesus' baptism. It talks about Jesus' first time in Galilee. It talks about the fact that all through the battles, all through the strife, all through the existence of difficult everything, that Jesus still had blessings from God, that we still have blessings even though life doesn't look right. Even though life looks hard, this is why we should rejoice. This is why we should have joy. This is why we shouldn't stop in worship. You know, worship is a part of who we are at Whitewater Christian Church. Worship is a part of the DNA of who we are. And yeah, you might not like to sing, or yeah, you might not like the tunes that we do, but that doesn't excuse you from worshiping the God that you love. The alternate chorus says, "When you cry to Him, He hears your voice. He will wipe away your tears. Rejoice. In the midst of suffering, He will help you sing. Rejoice." You know, a few years back, I had a family member have a stroke, and I spent the night at the hospital with my cousins and with family. And as I came home, I walked up to the bay window of my family's house, and my father had his headphones in. And all I could see through that window was my father's arms outstretched above his head. In the darkest hour of my father, he was worshiping. He was praising God. He was making sure that he never forgot who he was and what God had done for him. We don't get the choice to get angry and sit in self-solitude and be angry at God. We have to keep moving. We have to have joy, and we have to worship the God who we know will bring us through this. See, that's why we're here, and that's why we do these things. We don't play music just because it's fun, but it is. We don't play music just because we are blessed as a church to have great musicians, but we do. We play music and we worship God through not only song, but giving and praise and community and serving those who are lost, those who are destitute, those who are hurt. See, that's who we are as Whitewater Christian Church. That's why this song is so important to who we are as a community of disciples moving the world 2 steps closer to Jesus Christ. So every week I want to bring you guys another song that we sing on a weekly basis and talk to you about why this is important to who we are, why worship is so important to us as followers of Christ. I love you guys. Grace and peace.